Now on this spreadsheet we've got set up for a school trip, a school ski trip, and I want us to show you some more basic things. So first of all, we've got our names going down column A, and you can see that they are some of the names have disappeared. Okay, the column isn't wide enough, so we have two options. One option is to make the column wider by going between the two columns and double clicking. Double clicking will make it as wide as necessary to fit what's in the cells, or you can just drag and make it wider. Okay, so that's one option. The other option is to wrap the text within the cell, so you keep the column the same width and you make the text go underneath itself. Now that's up here in the alignment panel of the Home tab, and it's this icon here. If you hover over your icons, they will eventually show up telling you what what it will do. So I click on that, you'll see how it wraps the text round. Okay, so either way. So the school ski trip, let's make that bold and bigger. Okay, and this time we're working with numbers that aren't just general numbers, but they are in fact currency. So if you look on here, currency, and if I click on there, it will automatically put the pound sign on and 2 decimal places. If you don't want decimal places, you can decrease them here. Okay. Now I want to set, now this is going to be payment. Now I can't see what that says. I double click, payment 1, payment 2, payment 3, payment 4. So this is going to be set up for the teacher to add the amounts in as the students hand the money in. So I can select all of the cells that I want to be currency and set them up to be currency. So that's when Joe Smith brings me £98, I can type it in and it will change instantly to currency. Okay, so that's quite useful to do. The other thing I want to do is that I want it to automatically add up how much each student has paid. So I can use my auto sum to add up. Now it's already selected the cells I want, but I can drag just to make sure, and it will come up like that. Now I want to do that all the way down. So for Eleanor, there we go, for Amy. Now notice what's happened there. Excel is quite clever and it's worked out I want to add up, but the numbers closest to us are there, so you must be very careful when you're using your auto sum not to just press enter blindly, but to check that it has selected the right cells, and if not, select them yourself. Okay, but there is an easier way. Oops, there is an easier way. Something wrong there. That's it. I just dragged too far. Because there's only a few students on this list, but there may be a lot of students, and I don't want to have to spend time doing that. And the whole point of a spreadsheet is to make life easy. So let's just look up here at this formula. Sum B3 to F3, B4 to F4, B5 to F5. So there's a pattern, and Excel can read a pattern, it can understand a pattern. And what I can do is I can go to this bottom right hand corner of the cell, black square called the fill handle. If I click on that, I can drag down to the bottom and it will take my formula, and you can see it keeps the formula the same, but it just changes the row number to match the row that it is on. Very useful, very clever, and very handy. So there's cost of trip, so let's just wrap that. I'll make that into currency. The number on the trip, let's wrap that. And how much have they paid and how much do they owe? Well, on the last tutorial we looked at adding up, and very simple adding up equals a cell reference plus a cell reference, and it's the same for take away, multiply, divide. You start with formula equals, you click on a cell, that's the cost of the trip, and it's minus, okay, how much they've paid. Okay, so that means that Joe Smith owes me that. Now this will work as he brings his money in. I can tell him how much he and how much he has to pay. So I say, right Joe, you've paid up to now, but now you owe £198. Okay, now you think that I could just drag that down, couldn't you? But let's see what happens. If you remember from what I said before, Excel recognises a pattern, and J1 minus G3, now it's gone J2 minus G3, so it's dragged both of them down, and I can't just drag that down using the fill handle as that formula stands currently, because J1 needs to stay fixed in place, and it's the G3 or the G4 that is going to change. So in order to fix J1 in place, we need to fix it, and the way to do that is to put some $signs in front of the letter. I always think of them as being like anchors on a ship, because they look a little bit like anchors to me, and that's so they hold J1 in place, and that allows me now to pull down my formula, and J1 will stay fixed in place. Okay, right, it's over to you now to complete this spreadsheet, this basic spreadsheet, and send it to your teacher.